morning, Dundalk Middle School. This is Kara.
And Ryan.
Bringing you your morning announcements.
On WDMS News.
Today is Thursday, March 23rd, 2017. B-Day Today in History.
This day in history. March 23rd.
In 1775, Patrick Henry spoke the immortal words, "Give me liberty or give me death," to the Virginia Convention. On this day in 1983, President Ronald Reagan called for a space-based defense system that pundits quickly labeled Star Wars, after the popular movie franchise. In 1996, Lee Teng-hui became the first democratically elected president of Taiwan. And on this day in 1839, the phrase "okay" went mainstream. Back then, kids communicated with initials of misspelled words. KY meant no use. OK stuck when the Boston Post printed an editorial, using it for all correct. Ever since, OK is done OK. And that's this day in history.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the DMS Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I am safe, I am respectful, and I am responsible at Dundalk Middle School and in my community. Please be seated.
It was 27 degrees this morning. It will be sunny today, and we should reach a high of 47 degrees. Now for sports report. The NFL's Vice President of Football Operations says the league is considering possible ejections for players who commit dangerous hits, and the NFL is getting criticism for the way it organizes its divisional playoffs. The Blue Jackets, Washington Capitals, and Pittsburgh Penguins have all had the best records in the entire National Hockey League. Since they are all in the Metropolitan Division, the second and third place teams will have to face off in the first round, which will knock one of them out of the playoffs, even though their record is much better than the teams who remain in the playoffs. Here's what has happened around the world.
I'm Zach Troy. Here's this week's Global Wrap. President Trump spent the last week gathering support from Republicans in the House of Representatives for one of his major campaign promises, to repeal and replace the Obama administration's health care plan, sometimes called Obamacare. A vote in the House is scheduled for Thursday. Republican support is uncertain. Some say the Trump administration's health care proposal is too tough. Others argue that it doesn't go far enough, and that it is just Obamacare light. Russian involvement in the 2016 presidential election was the focus of a hearing by a House of Representatives committee on Monday. In a major development, Director James Comey said the FBI investigation involved the Trump campaign.
That includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russia's efforts.
The FBI director also said he had no reason to confirm President Trump's charge, in a series of tweets, that he was wiretapped by then-President Obama before the 2016 election.
I have no information that supports those tweets, and we have looked carefully inside the FBI.
This week, Supreme Court nominee Judge Neil Gorsuch is in the spotlight. The Senate Judiciary Committee is holding confirmation hearings for the conservative judge. He was nominated by President Trump to fill the seat formerly held by late Justice Antonin Scalia.
I have no difficulty ruling against or for any party, other than based on what the law and the facts in the particular case require.
Last Friday, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson was in Southeast Asia, where he visited with U.S. troops along the border dividing South and North Korea. He warned that the United States would consider military options if North Korea continued its military buildup.
All the options are on the table. Let me be very clear. The policy of strategic patience has ended.
North Korea's response came on Sunday when Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un supervised the test of a new high-thrust engine for long-range missiles. Heavy rains last week caused flooding and mudslides across central and northern Peru. Rain has pounded Peru's northern coast since the beginning of the year, forcing over 550,000 people from their homes. 72 people are reported to have died from flooding and mudslides. Officials say the storms are caused by El Niño, which has warmed the surface waters of the Pacific Ocean. In Iraq, the battle for the strategic city of Mosul is continuing. Iraqi army troops are closing in on the mosque where Islamic terrorist forces declared their own territory, or caliphate, in 2014. In Washington, President Trump met with Iraq's Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi. The meeting comes as the Trump administration is developing its Iraq strategy. The players on the world champion U.S. women's hockey team say they will boycott the upcoming 2017 World Tournament at the end of March. The players are demanding additional financial support for themselves and additional funding for their training programs.
It's beyond the time to actually make a stance and move forward in the right direction, not only for this group specifically, but for the younger generations and for the sport in general.
Chuck Berry, one of the founders of rock and roll, died this past week. He was 90 years old. In the 1950s, Chuck Berry combined different forms of music, rhythm and blues, gospel, jazz, and transformed popular music.
Rock and roll didn't exist when he started, and he found a way to connect and help create rock and roll, what it is today.
His music and his performances, including his famous duck walk, energized audiences and influenced generations of rock musicians. I'm Zach Troy. Check in next week for another Global Wrap.
The PPIS Hoot Cart will be open every Wednesday during the lunch shift. Bring your hoots to redeem them for cool Hoot merchandise. The Hoot Cart will open 7 minutes into lunch and close within the last 7 minutes of lunch.
Attention students, stop by our library to check out this year's Black Eyed Susan nominated books. If you read 3 or more of them by the end of March, you will be invited to a pizza lunch in the library.
Don't forget that Student Council is doing Pennies for Patients. This is a fundraiser to help kids with leukemia. The winning grade level gets to pie a teacher in the face. You can turn in your contributions during lunch.
Stream night has been rescheduled for Wednesday, April 19th, with dinner being served at 6 p.m. and the activities happening between 6:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. If you plan to attend, please RSVP to Miss Murphy in the main office by April 18th. Even if you had RSVP'd for the previous date.
Do you need more service learning hours for graduation, or do you want to hang out this summer in an air-conditioned Baltimore County Public Library? Then sign up to be a volunteer this summer. See Miss Gibson in our school library for more details. They are accepting registrations for the volunteers between April 10th and April 23rd only.
DMS Drama Club is selling Wildcat t-shirts. Each t-shirt costs $10. And you can choose from a red or white t-shirt. Please see Ms. Denswarren to place an order. Your order must be placed by Friday, March 31st.
Saturday Academy is canceled this Saturday.
Good morning, Dundalk Middle School. This is Ryan with a few words of wisdom. Listen to these words from judge and writer Thomas Hilleburton. Suggest what is right, oppose what is wrong. And if you are not popular, you at least be respected. Popularity lasts only one day. Respect will be passed on to your child. In other words, we should take a stand against things that are such as stealing or cheating, even if it costs us our popularity points. After all, popularity may last only one day, but learning to respect ourselves and others can last a lifetime. In fact, respect is a quality we can pass along to the future generations. So when you are faced with doing something wrong, don't worry about making the popular decision. Make a choice that earns you respect both today and tomorrow. With something to think about, this is Ryan. Make it a great day. Now the choice is yours. Now here's Mr. Parrish.
Morning, Team DMS. For our students who are taking MISA testing or makeups, we want to wish you the best of luck. Students, please remember while you're in the hallways that there's other students, 8th graders, who are testing, so we need to make sure that we're safe, respectful, responsible, and bottom line, quiet. So that way students can have a optimal testing environment. Students also, as a reminder, this is week 9 of the quarter. You should be looking up your grades on BCPS 1 to and also scheduling meetings to have conversations with your teachers to talk about if there's any assignments that you can make up or any missing assignments.